78% of suicide rates worldwide are men. What can we do to help them? Even if they're fucking dumb. I got told you're like, really proportionate. I'm still not 100% sure what that means, but I've been carrying that around like hell yeah, I'm the goddamn Vitruvian man. Make us a sandwich when we ask. Not prosecute the gay ones. Listen. Tell them that it's okay to experience and express their emotions. It's okay to need support sometimes. To all the men that may be reading this, know that your partner, your family, and your friends want you to be okay. Please don't feel ashamed to ask for help. Reaching out will only further prove how strong you are. Help them get to 100%. People tend to tell their friends things in one way or another. Not always so clearly. Listen to them. Be a true friend, one that knows when someone isn't feeling or acting quite right. Ask questions. Listen. Be there. We are what keeps each other vested in this life. Remove the shame and stigma of mental health in men. Men are strong, and when they seem weak, it's not masculine. There's something like 3,000 plus women's shelters in the US. There are 3 men's shelters. I read about something recently called men's sheds in Australia. It's like a weekly get-together where everyone maybe builds something, maybe doesn't. But they get together and fraternize and talk. Basically, it's supposed to be a place where men can talk and open up with each other without judgment. Recently, they seem to be closing down because women have started insisting on going, and then the men clam up and stop going. Personally, I think we should have men's sheds, women's sheds, and co-ed sheds. Say something nice every once in a while. We can start by not pretending that women have it worse than men, and stop saying shit like men have it bad, but not as bad as women, because there's some bad men who rape and do bad things, so fuck men as a woman. It disgusts me that men get treated so horribly and we act like their problems don't matter simply because they're men, and that some bad men must mean that all men are bad and make things worse for us women. We need to treat men with love and respect like we should to all people. We can't have equality when we act like one has it worse than the other. Andrew Yang talks a lot about how this is a product of our economy leaving men behind. So we need to work to decouple masculinity from providing and ensure everyone has a basic and comfortable standard of living. Also, we need to encourage men to be more open with their feelings. Things get weird when you bottle them up. Stop telling up to man up. Have people stop saying man up and stop being sad to men who are depressed or have anxiety. 78% of suicide rates worldwide are men. The reason it's so high is because women usually try to overdose and there's time for them to change their mind and get help. Men usually use guns or jump off things so they don't have a chance to change their minds. Attempted suicides are roughly 50-50 men/women. It's not quite even, but it's closer than the 78-22 men/women for completed suicides. Everyone has problems. No one is good at talking about their problems. We need to be teaching our children coping skills. I'm not trying to diminish the impact males' suicide rate statistics, but add that this isn't just a problem that men have. It's a global problem. We all need to help each other to reduce all suicide rates. In my honest opinion, workplaces could show some more appreciation. Whether you're a slacker or give your honest best effort every single day at work, it's all treated the same. Eventually you become jaded and realize it's all pointless. Everyone can accept this and deal with it to a point. However, when things go wrong, be it a hard breakup, losing a close friend or family member, maybe extreme financial hardship, it's still all pointless. You go to work every day. You're now fighting an uphill battle, just to make sure it all doesn't fall apart. And this is when they decide to question your performance at work. You don't get to be sick, you don't get to make excuses. You just do your job because it's just what you do. You'll never get credit for showing up every day while dealing with a divorce. You see, for this guy, his job might be the one thing he can find fulfillment or satisfaction in. It might be the one stable thing holding his life together. You see, this job, the one thing he has left. throws him under the bus when he needs it the most. Don't call them weak for having issues, and don't be such an ass when they try to talk about it and then shut everyone out because people only make fun of them. Not affecting me, but I'm worried about a friend of mine. The divorce legal proceedings in the UK favour women way too heavily. I teach men about masculinity in prison and other community programs. There's a good documentary called The Mask We Live In that I utilize to stir up some conversations. There's a book that I also use called Mask of Masculinity by Lewis Howes. I sincerely believe that our cultural expectations and reinforcement of boys and men to be stoic is at the root of a lot of societal problems. Along with the suicide rate, most violent crimes are at the hands of men. The leading cause of death in pregnant women is murder by an intimate partner. Men are taught to withhold emotions and to man up and move through shit. This is reinforced in so many ways societally. Without a healthy outlet for emotions that are not anger, many boys and men turn to unhealthy outlets, drugs, violence, etc., or even suicide as the ultimate solution. There is a lot I could go into here, but I'm at work currently. It's heartbreaking to me to experience this and to watch it happen in others. I take pride in being able to teach men about alternatives. Getting to the root of what trauma you have suppressed and how to feel and move through it is key. Education and support are paramount as well. I see more and more programs popping up that teach and support men in their journey through toxic masculinity and into a more healthy relationship with yourself and others. A lot of times depression presents itself as something else in men and young boys, so it can be mislabeled or misdiagnosed as a behavioral problem. Thus it's tough for others that don't know what is going on to be supportive. A lot of us are disconnected because it's hard to make friends as you get older. Guys like me with no kids have it even harder, believe it or not. We feel lost and stuck in life if we're doing jobs we hate just to get by. When you don't have anyone to talk to. Don't tell us we should just man up, not put so much physiological pressure on us to where we don't feel like we can open up about anything. Stop the feminization of male spaces. We want to express ourselves emotionally, but many times certain emotions and actions are deemed feminine or weak for a man to feel or do, like caring for your child or feeling depressed. We're taught that real men don't cry, so I'd say the suppression of our emotions and mental needs seriously affects us. Men don't admit to each other how they feel in fears of sounding weak, so we keep it to ourselves most of the time. It really feels like the only thing we're allowed to feel is anger, pride, lust, and, sometimes happiness. Stop expecting men to be though. Physical, emotional, mental, doesn't matter what, it's generally expected men power through events. They don't. They carry that mountain of burdens with them until it crushes them. Compliment us and don't tell us to man up to our feelings. To support them and not call them gay for having emotions. Edit, spelling. Edit 2, fixing my spelling in edit 1. Let them cry on your shoulder hole, you cry with them. Showing weakness in someone else's weak moment makes them feel stronger. Get the Miami Dolphins in the Super Bowl. Stop demonizing them. Not suicidal myself, but last year I tried to be honest about all my emotions. I lost good friends. Not saying I did vulnerability right, is there any right and wrong way? But when I was in an emotional tailspin, people just left. That needs to change. Even telling me how I was wrong would have been far better. If you tell women to man up, the percentage of men's suicides will drop. Stop telling us to be a man. What, being a man means we can take everything and just shrug it off. Emotions aren't just for women.